Hello, I'm Liam Fay for Business Station and welcome to Social Media for Business. This workshop's hosted by Business Station, not-for-profit based in Perth, on behalf of the Commonwealth Government of Australia's Digital Solutions Program. I'm one of the advisors based in the regional city of Rockhampton, and I'm going to be teaching all things social media today, including using Facebook for business, how to create paid advertisements that actually do work for $1.45 per day, what content to be posting, and I'm going to cover a few other social media platforms, including one of the fastest growing ones, which is TikTok. If you have a question at any point in time in today's webinar, use the chat function or the question and answer function in the bottom of your Zoom controls. If you're watching this later online, feel free to reach out to me at Business Station. For those of you that are attending live, I always like it if I know what type of business you are from. So if you just want to use the chat function and let me know what industry you're in. So to begin with, a little bit about me, I'm the owner of Lad Social. Lad Social is one of the larger social media marketing companies in Queensland. We're based in the regional city of Rockhampton, and for 14 years, I have been creating content for social media. From everything for real estate companies to online retailers to professionals and tradies and everything in between. I have an incredible team of professionals that work for me, including cinematographers, photographers, visual effects artists, and editors. And everything that we do, and the large majority of it, is what we call organic marketing. When we look at organic marketing, it's posting the right content to your social media feed and letting your customers drive it for you. Now, I'm going to be using a live example tonight. I don't do any PowerPoints or anything like that. So I am actually going to be using my own personal social accounts and business accounts and some real world examples. So content warning, because I do not know what's going to be appearing on the screen. So I'll put that out there straight away. To begin with, I'm going to ask the question to the audience: what do you think the largest social media platform is in Australia and also the world? So I'll let you think about that and put that in below. Just having a look to see what industry everyone's in. I can see that Phil is in air conditioning. I'm actually a qualified refrigeration mechanic, Phil. It's what I started out doing when I left school. Did my trade as a refrigeration mechanic before going full-time into digital marketing. So very relatable. We've got real estate, florists. I've worked with florists before. Oh, we have another marketing agency in here. Fantastic. Oh, Igor, hey, mate. Igor's up in Cairns and he sells an incredible bamboo water filtration system where you put the bamboo in your water bottle and it filters it for you. So reusable product, absolutely fascinating. Okay, so looking at the results we have, and no one's got it yet. We've got a lot of people saying Instagram and Facebook, but the largest platform is actually YouTube. YouTube is the largest social media platform in the world and the largest in Australia. It has around about 86% of the people in Australia over the age of 18 actively using their platform. After that, we have Facebook at 68%, followed by LinkedIn at 63%. Now, all my data here is from January this year, except the LinkedIn one. The LinkedIn data is from October, but we could assume that's reasonably close. After that, we have Instagram. Instagram's 58% of the market over the age of 18. Then Snapchat at 34%, and then TikTok at 34%. Then we also go down to Pinterest, Twitter, those sort of ones. For most businesses, creating the content that you're going to be posting on YouTube is very difficult because it is a little bit more often long form. When we talk about video, we talk about short form and long form. Short form is less than a minute. Most content for social that businesses create is in that short form space. So if we look at Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, the three that we're going to be talking about today, Facebook tends to be your over 35. Instagram is your 25 to 35, and TikTok is your under 25. Now, TikTok is the second most downloaded app in Australia this year, the most downloaded last year, and 1/3 of Australians are now using it. It is one of the fastest growing platforms. TikTok is very much positioned where Facebook was at in 2008. There's a lot of potential there. And what I mean by this is when we post something to Facebook, only the people that engage with our page will see our content. So that's the likes, tags, shares, comments, and clicks. That's what we're talking about, engagement. And when we post to Instagram, it's what we call far-reaching platform. You're going to reach people beyond your local area. So on Instagram, we're looking at people that engage with your content and also people that engage with the hashtags that you use. With TikTok, when you post content to TikTok, it goes out to a small audience. If that small audience engages with it, it goes to a bigger audience. If that audience engages with it, it goes out to a bigger audience. Bigger, 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 bigger. So it's entirely possible you can put a video on TikTok today and have 1 million views on it by the end of the week. It's something that I have done and it is possible for everyone here. So let's jump in. I'm going to get my screen shared and we are going to look at Facebook. You see me bobbing and moving my head around because I do have multiple screens in front of me here, including the screen that you guys are seeing, the screen I'm about to share, and my notes. So let's jump on and let's look at Facebook. Now, I imagine that most of you probably do have your Facebook page. Facebook is starting to get more geared towards mobile users, especially for the consumer market. And at the top of the screen is your stories and reels. This is your short-term content with stories. They're only up for 15 seconds long and up for 24 hours. But a lot more customers are now swiping across as opposed to scrolling down. When we scroll down through our Facebook, oh look, there's an ad. Let's keep scrolling down. Keep scrolling down. Oh, look, another ad actually about getting ads, like using ads. What's the chance of that? Keep scrolling down, another ad. Every single time I've seen an ad, Facebook has just made money. This platform is designed to keep you scrolling so that you see ads and so they make money. So ideally, Facebook wants to show you content it thinks you're interested in based on how you engage with that content. Engagement being liking, commenting, sharing, tagging friends, clicking on it, replaying videos, anything where you're interacting with that content. The more you interact with a person or a business page content, the more content you're going to see from that page. If you don't interact with pages or people, you won't see as much content from them. This is why we always end up with friends where we're like, what's that person been doing since high school? You go stalk them on social media and then you don't stop seeing content from them. It's because you showed engagement with that person, then you'll keep seeing content from it. With a business page, one of the best things is to get shares. When you get shares, it goes out to that person's audience. So the people that engage with that people will see that content. Essentially how the engagement algorithm works. What we're going to do is we're going to jump into a couple of real world examples as we go through this. And the page I'm going to use for this example is Millennium Comics and Collectibles. They're an absolutely incredible business based in Rockhampton selling pop culture. Now, when I first went into this business, they were closing down. The owner wasn't making the money that he needed to stay operational. And I got asked by my brother to go in and help out this business because it was his favorite store. We took them from closing down to being one of the largest stores in the Southern Hemisphere, a 60 square meter shop to a 600 square meter shop. This is a business I still work very closely with today, growing and developing their brand. And the way we turned their business around from not performing to performing incredibly well was we went from taking pictures of product to taking pictures of people with product. When I first walked into the store, a lot of the pictures that would make up their content was just a picture of the product or a picture that was supplied by the manufacturer. The secret to social media, if you take one thing away from today's workshop, is social means people. As soon as you put a person in the post, it will always perform better. This doesn't matter what type of business it is. People go onto social media to see what their friends and family are up to, what's happening in the community, and to buy things on Marketplace. They don't go on there to see ads from businesses. So if you can make your content look like it came from friends or family, they're going to pay more attention to it. If we go back to Facebook and go for a scroll, hey, that looks pretty cool. People in it. It's a news article. So that's actually an ad done really well. Real estate agent, got a comic, person, graphic. Let's keep scrolling. This. I have no idea what this is. I'm looking at it. It's something that I'm going to scroll past. It's just a big chunk of graphic. It looks boring. Various memes. Boom, another ad. Looks like an ad. Looks like an ad. These sort of things we tend to scroll past. We're not paying attention to them. As soon as we have a post with content in it, people pay attention. And this is actually a great example. This is, it disappeared on me. Oh, that's frustrating. It was a sponsored ad that had a person in it. So coming back to our main example here, when you have a post that does perform well, like this video did, if you click on the reactions, you have the, once you switch into the account, you've got to make sure if you're in the new pages experience that you're logged in as the business. When you have a page that performs well, you'll get people that like your post, but they might not necessarily like the page. So if you click on the reactions, you'll have the opportunity to invite people to like your page. This is a great way to build your audience and get in front of more people. This person here liked the post, doesn't currently like the page. So I'm going to send them an invite, then I'll get a notification saying they've been invited to like the page. Around about this time, I normally get asked the question if you're better to do videos or photos. With video, it takes longer to sell your message. You can sell a more detailed message, but it takes longer to sell it. With a photo, you can sell your message instantly if it's a good photo, and you can back it up with your copy. Your copy is the words that you use. In this case, we've got a description and a link to the product. With photos, sometimes it's a good idea to have multiple photos to make up the image. Simply being because you get the see more. I'm looking for an example, but I'm not finding one. But you get the see more button and people are clicking with it to see the additional photos. This helps draw into the engagement. So this page we do majoritively organic, nothing paid. But let's actually see what the insights are like. So I'm going to go into Meta Business Suite. Wait for that to load. And I'm going to come down into insights. Inside here, we're going to have the data on the page and how the business is performing. So with this page, we have reached 40,000 people, which is up a little bit, but quite a good reach. If we have a look at our results, 40,000 people, we had a massive spike. One day we must have a really good piece of content. And we've had 7,709 page visits. This is all without any paid advertising, completely organic. When we look at this sort of content, reach is great for getting in front of more people, but page visits are more important. With page visits, people actually care about what we're posting. They're coming onto the page to find out more information. If we click through to our audience, we can see the makeup of our market, male, female, which location they're from. it's a good idea to have a look at this. I've seen some pages in the past where a large percentage of their audience is from another country. That tends to happen when there's another business with a very similar name out there in the world. It also tends to happen when you have broad likes, especially if the likes are from India or Pakistan and you don't have a connection to that country. So through this, it's just great to be able to have a look at the information and see how everything's performing. With this page, we always perform very heavily, very well on Facebook, and we're still building the Instagram profile. Next thing I want to show you is over here in content. In the content tab, we can see all the different posts that were posted, and we can also see what the performance on them are, if it loads. Come on. So we can see the date published, how many people reached, how many engagements, likes, comments, shares. So when you get a post that performs particularly well, do another one that's very similar to that. That sort of content works, do more like that. We can also see our scheduled posts, all the upcoming content that we have planned for this business. As you can see, there is quite a bit of content planned to go up. And through the top here, we can create stories, create reels, and we can create posts. I'm going to click on the create post button. And it's going to take us into where we can create and schedule our content. When we click the post to, we have the option of posting to Facebook, Instagram, and to any groups that we're a part of as well. So we can post to all of them at the same time or different times the content. I'm going to click on Facebook and Instagram. When we do that, we get the option to customize the post for Facebook and Instagram. And this is good because on Facebook, we don't want to be using hashtags. When you use hashtags on Facebook, you get lower engagement. So leave hashtags where they belong on Instagram. Now, with hashtags on Instagram, generally you're going to be wanting to use about 5 to 9 hashtags. I like to use a location-based hashtag like hashtag Rockhampton for my local area, hashtag Central Queensland, hashtag Queensland, something that allows people to know where we are. It's a good idea to position yourself as locally as possible so you're not reaching people on the other side of the planet. Next, I like to use some hashtags relating to the product or the service that I'm selling. Then finally, I like to use a branded hashtag. So hashtag layered social, hashtag digital solutions, hashtag business station. We can add our photo, we can add our video, we can add our text. Rather than clicking the publish now and sending our post live, we can use the schedule function. When we schedule a post, sometimes you'll get this pop up, but otherwise you click on the active times. It's going to tell you the time of the day that your audience is most active, the recommended time that you should be posting. As you can see, it's slightly different for Facebook and for Instagram. What I recommend that you do here is rather than posting exactly on 6 o'clock, I like to post at something a little random like 6:07, 6:04, something like that. It's also a good idea to think about the different times of the day that you're posting your content. Different times of the day, you can have different audiences online. I've had success with posting at 2 a.m. in the morning because at 2 a.m. in the morning, no one's posting new content to Facebook, but there's still people working, awake, those sort of things. You might have emergency service workers, you might have night shift workers, people working at service stations. You might also just have mums that are breastfeeding. So think about who your market is and how you want to be targeting them. If you're trying to reach tradies, you might want to post at 3 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. on a Friday afternoon, because they're probably guaranteed to be on their phone and sinking back a beer. So think about the different times of the day that your audience is online and experiment with different times to be posting. You'll get a bit of variation and you'll get a variation in the customers that come through to your page. So I recommend having a little play with different times If you're just trying to go for maximum reach, posting at the recommended times when your audience is most active is a good idea. Okay, so we have a post that has performed well or hasn't performed well, and we want to reach more people with it. This is where the real power of Facebook starts to become unlocked. You can actually create ads to get in front of people. When we're scrolling through Facebook and we've seen the sponsored posts, those were examples. I'm not getting any ads now. Those were examples of ads. There's a few different ways we can do ads on Facebook. We can do ads manager, ads center, or just straight up boosting. Boosting is the most simple way. I like to describe it as the Camry. It doesn't do anything flash, but it will always get you there. So if we click on the boost post function, it's going to take us in here. The first thing is it's going to give us a choice of goal. What do we want to achieve from this advertising? More messages, phone calls, leads. I'm going to select phone calls. It's going to change my button down here to be a Cool Now button, and it's got my phone number in there, or the phone number for this business. If I change it to more engagement, I've got more options for buttons. So you really want to select there what you want to achieve. There's this Advantage Plus creative that you can use. I recommend not using it because it can really expand your audience beyond what you want to target. Now you might target, okay, I just want to reach people in my local region, but it will expand beyond what you're initially trying to target. So I like to turn it off. If you're in finance, employment, housing, social issues, elections, politics, click the special ad category on. It just means that Facebook's going to do additional consideration. And then we have our audience. So you can choose people through targeting. That's what we're going to really showcase today. But you also have people who like your page. This is really good if you're trying to target your past customers and get them re-engaged with your page. People who like your page and people similar to them. This one's good because friends normally have friends with similar interests. People in your local area. This is just good if you're just trying to target your immediate vicinity. Now you can expand your radius up to 50 miles, or you can reduce it down to 1 mile. It's in miles because it's an American platform, and Americans have yet to learn how to count in lots of 100. But I believe 1 mile is 1.6K. I'm sure there's someone in the audience who might have grown up in the mile to kilometer era and can convert that for me. We're going to go up here, choose people we choose through targeting, and we're going to click on this little pen icon. It's going to allow us to create our audience. Straight away, we've got the options of all genders, male or female. I know you'd think Facebook would be a little bit more inclusive about genders, but that's the options they have. Next, we have our age range. Anytime I change anything here, have a look at this estimated audience size. As I change, it's going to reduce what my audience size is. This isn't necessarily a bad thing if you end up with a small audience. There's sort of two ways to approach advertising. Very broad audiences, if you don't have detailed customer personas, or very niche audiences where you try and pinpoint down a small group. I'm going to sort of show you how that's going to look. So we're going to leave it as 18 to 65. The next step down is locations. Just been told it's 1.6 kilometers. So 1 mile, 1.6 k's. We're going to check location. If we put a location in here, like let's say Perth, United States. No, we want Perth, Western Australia. There we go, Perth, Western Australia. When I load a new option in, it's only going to let me go down to 10 miles. I choose Brisbane. Again, lowest I can go is 10 miles. I can go up to 50 miles. But if I want to target just a particular suburb, let's say I just want people in Belmont to see my post. I can take the drop pin tool, drop it on that suburb, and I can reduce the radius down to 1 mile. This is useful for a couple of reasons. If you're a small local business and you just want that local foot traffic in your area, it's very powerful. If you've got a market stall, you're trying to target people, again, foot traffic, it's very useful. If you're a trade and you're just trying to work in your local suburbs, useful. If you're going for big tenders on massive contracts and you know where the tender is going to be evaluated, or you know where the head office for the business is, you could always drop a pin down on that head office and run brand advertising in that zone. You're more than likely to reach to the decision maker who's going to keep seeing content from you. So there's a few different ways you can really utilize this tool with location data tracking. So that's location. Next step we have is detailed targeting. This is where we can really pick out our audience down to very, very fine detail or very broad detail. We've got a couple options: demographics, interests, and behaviors. Inside of demographics is really everything that Facebook knows about you based on what you tell it. So it has things like education levels, fields of study. Financial is not useful in Australia. You can use it if you're targeting an American audience, trying to sell products online to an affluent area with a top income. So you can do that. We have things like life events, anniversaries, birthdays, new relationship, newly engaged, newly wed. We have things like parents, whether we have teenagers, toddlers. You might be asking, how does Facebook know if I've got children? I think every single parent is guilty of putting up a picture of their child on Facebook. For whatever reason, Facebook tends to track that data, and you can use that if you're trying to advertise and target towards your customers. We have relationship, so we have relationship status, civil union, divorced, in a relationship, married, single, complicated. Now, I know we have a florist in our audience tonight, and I believe we also have someone in gift and hampers. So this is one I've had success with for the gift and for the florist market, because you know he's in trouble. So you can select complicated and target males who are trying to be forgiven. So there's a market option there. You also have work. So you can target people who work in different industries, construction, extraction, business decision makers, community, legal, etc. You can also target people based on job titles. This one can be a little bit buggy, and you do have to know what you're doing. Sometimes I can get it work, sometimes I can't. But this can be useful if you're trying to recruit staff. I know a lot of businesses at the moment are trying to find more employees to work for them. So you can pick out people in particular industries and advertise towards them and explain to them why it's best to come work for you. Especially if you're in the trade market, tradies have their choice of employer who they can work for. I've been out of the refrigeration trade now for, I feel like it's probably about 8 years. I still have people ringing me up asking me if I want to come work for them. So I tend to find these days when you're interviewing, the person you're interviewing is interviewing you as much as you're interviewing them. So you can target out people in industries and try and get them to jump ship and come work for you by picking out the industry. The next thing that we have is interests. So these are all the different things that you feed into Facebook, like fitness and wellness, what you're interested in, like yoga or hobbies, activities, pets, cats, dogs, those sort of things, travel, what type of travel you like to do, what sort of shopping you like, fashion accessories, sports outdoors, playing sport, watching sport, technology, computer games, alcohol, business, design, aviation. There's so many different options here that you can choose from based on the interests that you give Facebook. The last section is behaviors. Inside of behaviors is all the sort of buttons that you click and pages that you signed up to. So inside behaviors, we have things like if you've purchased with an offer, we have digital activities like if you're a new business. We also have things like if you're a business page admin, if you've used Facebook payments, if you're Instagram business profile admin, if you're a community page admin. So there's a huge number of different things that we can choose from to fine tune our audience. You can even choose what operating system they're on. So Windows, Mac, what mobile device they use. Mobile device with Apple is a good one if you own a repair store, because you're always fixing Apple screens. So I've selected this random audience. I have 817 to 961,000 roughly is my audience. These things that I've selected here, they are and or relationship. So they're only going to meet one of these categories, not all these categories. So massive audience, but we can fine tune this down to just saying, okay, we want to target people who are business page admins. We have a much smaller audience now. We still have some really random locations. So I'm going to save that audience. Then down here, we have our budget. So the minimum budget is $1.45. For $1.45, with this random audience selection I've chosen, I'm going to reach between 86 and 249 people. This number goes up and down based on the target that you're trying to choose. If I go much broader and go people who are interested in organic food, again, my audience has changed slightly, how many people I'm going to reach for the same money. There's a point where adding more money doesn't increase your daily estimated results by more. So for $12 for one day, max is 2,200. If I increase it to 25, it's doubled. If I increase it to 200, it's increased to 27,000. There's a point where I won't get more return for more money spent by doubling it. But if you can spend, in this case, it's defaulted back to $2 and reach the right customers for that money spent, that's incredibly, incredibly powerful for your business. The money that we spend in advertising is called customer acquisition costs. I've worked with businesses that have had customer acquisition costs, the cost they want to spend to acquire one customer, be as high as $16,000. And I've had it be as high as a few cents. Work out what is the optimal number to bring a customer on board. This is what your advertising budget should be. So if you spent $20 and acquired a customer, is it worth it? $100, is it worth it? Find a number that you're comfortable with based on the difference between what it costs for you to deliver your product or service and what you sell it for. Somewhere in there is your customer acquisition cost and roughly how much you should be spending on marketing. With our advertising spend, most businesses will spend around about 3% of their gross on marketing. One thing I do like to do with businesses that I work with is I'll set up a ad campaign for the entire year, put about $600 on it for the entire year, and run a brand campaign. In smaller towns, less than 100,000 people, over the course of a year, you'll get complete brand saturation where everyone in that region will know about you. For $600 ad spent, that's incredible. If you're in a larger capital city, you will have to spend a bit more to reach every single person in a year, unless you're just trying to target your sort of immediate suburbs and regions. So that is something that you can do. Putting your advertising spend on isn't everything though. You also got to have the right creative. You've got to have the right copy and the right visual that's going to engage with your customer. I haven't had the question yet, but I've been waiting for it. You haven't asked many questions tonight, audience, but the questions I normally get is how many times a day, week, month should I be posting and what should I be posting? So I recommend for most businesses Posting about 3 times a week is the golden number. If you cannot post good quality content 3 times a week, post once a week. You're better off posting less and posting high quality content than you are to post multiple times a day and have it be low grade. Next to that, if you're going to be doing stories, you can post 3 to 5 stories a day. It's only up there short term. It's temporary content. That sort of content is really good for showing the behind the scenes in your business. Now, if you're struggling to think what type of posts am I going to put up, there's sort of 4 steps I like to do with social media marketing, especially if we're playing organic, non-paid advertising. I like to post branding posts. Branding posts are not just your logo. That's the symbol of your business. It's not the brand. Brand is who are you and why should I care? If we look at some of the biggest brands in the world, if I say the tick logo, you know that that's Nike. If I say a red kangaroo, you know that's Qantas. If I say to you, what's Woolworths' tagline? Most people are going to know it's the fresh food people. Here's the challenge for you. What's the tagline for Coles? I've never really had anyone get that. If you know the answer, put it in the chat. I'll let you know what it is in a moment. So brand is really the values of the business. It's how you're represented. It's how people perceive you. I like to look at it as who are you and why should I care? So if you do your brand awareness well, your customers are going to care. The easiest 2 brand awareness posts to do is introduction to staff and why you started the business. 2 easiest ones. So introduction to staff, I normally like to do it as 4 lines. The first one is who's the person? I'm Liam Fay from Lad Social, the creative director. I'm also an advisor for the Australian Small Business Advisory Digital Solutions Program. The next step is a little bit about your experience. I've been in business for 14 years and I think I've been consulting for 6 years now. The next step after that, the next line, is what you like most about your work. I love working with different businesses and consulting with them because there's all these businesses that you never even think about and you start to learn about their industries. In fact, I had a client today that I consulted with and she's an artist, but her specialty is painting with breast milk to create a long-lasting symbol from that time in women's life. So very unique, very different business and not one I've looked at before or even heard about. So very unique. So what do you like about your work? The last line should be something personal, something that connects you to your audience. When I'm not at work, I like to fly light aircraft, smoke meat, and I like to drink whiskey. So the full post would go together along the lines of, I'm Liam Fay, I'm a creative director at Lad Social and for the Digital Solutions Program as an advisor. I've been in the industry for 14 years, consulting for 6. What I love about the work I do is consulting and meeting with all the different businesses that I get to interact with. When I'm not at work, I like to fly light aircraft, drink whiskey and smoke meat, not all at the same time. So that's the idea for brand awareness posts. So for the, so we have actually got a couple of people that have got the tagline, value the Australian way, or everyday low value. Those are the taglines for Coles. It's rather quite dreadful, I think. That's my personal opinion on it. I think Woolworths is a little bit more strong. So brand awareness posts are the first step. The next step is your capability posts. Capability is not sales. Capability is letting your customers know what you can do for them. It's the, did you know that we have this product? Do you know that you offer this service? If you ever get a customer ask you, do you do this? There should be alarm bells in your head. You should be thinking, someone's asking me about a question about my business and they don't know about it. So I need to do more posts on that so I can inform my audience. This is really that capability step. In the capability step, we let our customers know what we can do for them. We inform them and give them detail. So an example of a capability, which is a nice segue into our digital solutions program, is that through the Digital Solutions program, you can access 3 hours of one-to-one support with a digital solutions advisor for the cost of $44. So that's a service that you can access. So you can go through and learn more about social media, ask questions about your business, develop a content plan of what you should be posting, all accessible through the Digital Solutions program, which you can Google. The next step there, which I've already done, is your action step. The action step is where you ask your customers to do something. Google it, find it, sign up for it, because it's incredible value sponsored by the government. Time to get some of your tax dollars value back. So the third step is your action. Ask your customers to do something. Go through to our website, come in for our sales, sign up for our deals, get them to do something. When a customer takes action, it stops being marketing, it becomes sales. We'll look at a different type of approach then. The last step is testimony, social testimony. We want to try and capture our customers enjoying our product or our services and promote that on our page. The idea being is that hopefully some of their friends are going to see that post, maybe if they've shared it even, they're going to go, I know this person, but I don't know this brand, and starts the journey again at that brand awareness. Brand awareness, capability, action, testimony creates a closed loop that feeds back in on itself, generating more interest and more people into your business. So show them who you are, show them what you do, get them to take action on it, and then show people taking that step, enjoying your product, brand, service, what you offer. Those are generally my 4 types of posts and my 4 steps to success with creating content on social, along with making sure that nearly every post that you put out has a person in it, because social media is about people, especially on platforms like Facebook. So we've covered Facebook well enough. You can advertise on Facebook and share it across and advertise on Instagram as well. But Instagram's the other platform that's owned by Meta, which is Facebook. With Instagram, it's sort of a mix between picture and video base. It does have the stories as well, along with Reels. Again, you're scrolling down through your feed, through your content, and you're going to get ads in between. Every time you see an ad, they make money. The big difference with Instagram is your hashtag. So if I put it in my local location hashtag, if I can spell it right, Rockhampton, I'm going to see all the hashtags related to that. Sorry, all the posts that have used the hashtag Rockhampton, which you can see is nearly 200,000 posts. I can also follow this hashtag. These are the top ones, so the ones with the most engagement. And these are all the most recent ones. So this is, actually there's one of the ones from my business. So this is just a great way to engage with your customers, get out there more by using the right hashtags. You can also research the hashtags that are being used and see what content's out there. I always like to use a branded hashtag when I'm posting. So I can click on that, and apparently I have 17 posts. I don't think my team's actually been using my branded hashtag. I'm going to have to talk to my own marketing team internally about that one. First time I looked that up. So hashtag Instagram tends to have a larger female audience. It also tends to have a slightly more affluent audience, and it's a little bit more showy than Facebook. It tends to be more far-reaching and just as likely to reach someone locally as you are across the country. Instagram is a platform that is losing its market share. It's not really growing. When we look at how many hours customers are spending on Instagram, it's only around about 8 hours a month, as opposed to Facebook, where they spend about 19 hours a month. And in comparison to TikTok, where they spend around about 20 hours to 30 hours a month. The sort of average being about 26 to 28 hours. So they spend more time on TikTok than any other platform. When we look at TikTok, it looks the same as any other social media platform when you break it down. You have your For You, which is your feed. You have your For You, which is your feed, and you have your following, which is the different accounts you're following. So the For You is that random selection of videos. If you engage with those videos by liking, commenting, sharing, tagging, clicking, replaying, then TikTok's going to show you more videos like that, but it's also going to show that video to more people because they think you're interested in it. So heaps of different types of videos, and the reason why I do the content warning is because you never know what's going to come up on TikTok. They still got a lot of fine tuning to do around their community stuff. But I do want to show you a couple of videos on here. I'm just going to reset my screen share. I see we do have a question. William's asking people to do something, sign up, etc. is the same as call to action. Yes. So action step is a call to action. It's asking people to do something, go through the website, sign up, call us, come in and purchase our product, do something. Call to action is what we're talking about. So I've got my audio shared now, and I'm going to show you this video. This is from a mechanic in Tasmania. His name is Pokey. He's, sort of your average mechanic, and he's got a great following, but he's responding here to a question. How many regular customers can you provide services for? Just asking because if your 100K followers all wanted a service, you would be really busy. Let's listen to what Pokey has to say, and I'm going to point out here that he uses only TikTok for his marketing.
All right, so I work on basically, I would estimate maybe, and I don't reckon it's even this high, would be 1% would be in my area are followers on TikTok. It may be a little bit higher, it might be lower. That's 1,450 people. If I get half of them as customers, I'm doing amazingly well, and this makes this worthwhile. A lot of my customers tell me they come from seeing us on TikTok, and yeah, it's working. Saying that, would I be able to service 100,000 followers? No shop in Australia can handle that. So no, I wouldn't be doing that. But most of the customers, most of the people following me aren't from this area locally, but a small percentage of them are. But that small percentage, even if it's only 1%, is more than I can handle. So yeah, that's how my marketing works.
Pretty straightforward. One thing to note here is when he does his videos, it's very face to camera. He's walking around, he talks to the camera, and then he shows what he's talking about. So it's very simple. It's something that anyone can do. Igor, he's got a question here. Can you target audiences in TikTok? You can target them with your hashtags, but you can also use TikTok ads. For TikTok ads, you can reach the exact audience that you fine-tuned down. I've got a couple of things I'm going to show you here. I do have a full webinar on TikTok called Don't Dance for Likes on TikTok. But it's just going to be a brief overview. I've seen this video last night, and it sort of shows a little bit sometimes the ridiculousness of TikTok. So this is Palmerston North City Council. They're back home in New Zealand, where I'm from. And you can see that most of the videos only get a couple thousand, some 20,000, this one 85,000. And then they've done this one and it's got 1.7 million views on it. It's one of the trends that are going around at the moment. And well, I'm just going to play it and show you. Some of the things on here are a bit ridiculous, but when you have a sound that everyone's using and they've watched one video, they're more likely to see more. So if you can jump on trends and find a way to utilize them for your business in a way that's not going to hurt the image or reputation of your business, it can be quite powerful. Interestingly enough, my own internal team have only just set up our own TikTok page and about a week ago and started posting content. I completely walked away from this and said I wanted nothing to do with it and just let my team do it because I'm busy enough as it is. But we are starting to get reach out of it. What we're finding is with the content that we post is quick snips that work well, but also
Shill's new trainee.
Also, when we have some sort of talk over, some sort of voice explaining what's going on.
So what's in your pockets, sir?
So I've got my phone.
Putting text overlays is also good because not everyone's watching the videos with the sound up. This one performed quite well.
Hey, it's Seth from Lad here.
This is a sort of an example of both a branding and a capability post in one, disguised as content, but really it's an ad for the business.
Today I'm going around the office to see what phones everyone has. Personally, I have a Samsung. Hey Liam, what phone do you have?
Obviously a Samsung, my screen's not broken.
Hey Huey, iPhone or Android?
Definitely Android, mate.
Way to go. Hey Joe, what phone do you have?
iPhone all day, every day.
Hey Dylan, what phone do you have?
iPhone.
Hey Tina, what phone do you have?
I have a Samsung.
Android wins.
Nice and simple, but it works and did get good engagement off it, especially as a starting post. I'm going to show you one last thing, and we're going to go to Jim the Cheese Boss. He's out in America, and I want to show you the very first video he ever posted because it got 1 million views on it. And it's very real, which is why it did. It's now got 1.6 million, but when it first came out, it had 1 million.
So 1 year ago, I left everything behind to start the next big restaurant brand. We started off small with this plot of land and built everything we could by ourselves. We got this trailer to start and get proof of concept out to the people as fast as we could. We built everything and made it look really awesome and nice. But then we had to close. Shortly after, we managed to release out this restaurant space and we built it up by hand ourselves. Piece by piece, wall by wall, hour by hour, day by day, we built it up and we finally got open. And this is where our story begins. This is us.
Nice and simple. Since then, a lot of his content has been showing what they do, their different product range, and answering the questions like, what if I'm lactose intolerant? Do you have a product for me? So with TikTok, there's lots of little niche audiences you can target. I know for lately, I've been getting a lot of bee talk, showing different bees. It seems to be a bit of an odd one, but it is actually kind of interesting. And my dad is a beekeeper, so I'm actually learning a little bit about it so I can talk to him about it. So there's lots of niche audiences. There's lots of opportunity to reach customers that you won't otherwise be able to. And when we look at TikTok, it's really where Facebook was at in 2008. So if you could take everything that you know now about social media and start doing it in 2008, 14 years later, how big would your customer base be? That is TikTok today. So if you're not on TikTok today, I'd suggest you download the app, start looking at it, and start thinking about what videos you could create for your business. TikTok is very video, singing, dancing sort of orientated, which is why my webinar, which will be next week at 5:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, is Don't Dance for Likes on TikTok. I'll take you through a nice little hour session on how to use TikTok better for your business. Eagle's got an absolutely incredible question here, which I love, which is, where can we find detailed and regularly updated audience demographic information for each platform? So every single year, there's a social media report that comes out by Hootsuite. It tends to be where most people go to for statistics. Different government platforms do collect some data on it, but the Hootsuite platform is probably the most detailed across all social media platforms that I can see. So let me just bring it up for you. One moment. So looking for this one. I hate it when you can never find something. There we go. Okay, so Hootsuite, global statistics. Come down here. Here's a 280 page report on all the details of all the different social media platforms across the world. You can also find more detailed reports on individual countries on the Hootsuite platform. So can you explain fans gained on Facebook? So when someone likes your page, they essentially become a fan. Fans, though, tend to be people who interact with your page a lot. You have your badges on there. So people who get the top spot tend to engage, like, or comment a lot. That answers your question. If anyone has any questions, now's a really great time to ask them. Otherwise, I'm just going to give Igor here a little shout out because he's had the best question I've had in weeks. This is his business, Natural Filters. This is the one I was talking about at the start. Your bamboo, charcoal, water filters. He's done a video. This is his range. You put it in the water bottle and it will take out all the bad tastes and all the nasties. So check out his page. That's for giving me a really great question there, mate. Okay. Any other questions from the audience? If you don't have any questions, then what I always like to hear is what you liked about this webinar the most. It helps me improve next time. This is actually the third time I've done this webinar in 3 days. I've done it twice as a on-stage event recently, so including this morning. So if there was something in particular that you found valuable for your business, put it in the chat so they can always improve in the future. If you've got a question, put it in the chat now. If you're watching this later online, feel free to reach out to me at Business Station or find me on my business, Lad Social. All the details are on there. Otherwise, this has been, what do I even call this course? Social media marketing for business. I've been Liam Fahey for Business Station on behalf of the Digital Solutions Program, and I wish you all the best luck with your business.